Obviously, yes, this video is aimed for beginners. This is for the complete beginner, for somebody that doesn't really know what equipment to get or what do you need. So what's the very basic equipment that you need to start music licensing or to start composing music for music licensing libraries and royalty-free libraries online? Now there's a very basic and essential equipment that you need. You don't need to spend a lot of money on it, by the way. You can just get started with a very basic laptop, an audio interface, and a set of headphones. Now there's different varieties of this type of equipment. But that's the very bare minimum. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you can have a MIDI controller, a MIDI keyboard controller, which is just going to help you play or just access and have some kind of like touch when it comes down to all the sample libraries that come with your DAW. Now, your DAW is another essential gear, of course. And there's so many out there now, and they're quite affordable compared to back in the day. And yes, if you have none of this and you're just getting started, it could seem like you need to invest some money, but it's very, very basic equipment. You can just learn how to use it. Now, if you go for a Mac, for example, you can even get started with GarageBand, which comes with your Mac. Built in, it's a free software. I believe Pro Tools nowadays as well has a free version of Pro Tools. I'm not sure how that works. I switched from Pro Tools to Logic. And obviously, yes, this video is aimed for beginners. This is for the complete beginner, for somebody that doesn't really know what equipment to get or what do you need, And I'm not even going into plugins or sample libraries because it could seem a little bit overwhelming at times, And the gear that you see here, these have taken me years to acquire. And really, it's the desk that is the major investment. That MacBook it's really old. That's from 2010. It's a very, very old laptop. Only quite recently I invested on Logic. I spent like 200 euros, I believe it was. Fantastic piece of software. I invested on my 11 rack as well, more than 10 years ago. And that's my audio interface, and that's my pretty much where I get the sounds of my guitarist. So I get all of my amp simulators and all of my effects from there, and I use it as my main interface. All the rest, the rack, is just really stuff that I use mainly for the bass. And I have a guitar tuner or a bass tuner as well. Speakers as well, that's another topic when it comes down to speakers. There's so many affordable speakers out there that you can actually just buy the entry level. Those are the entry levels of the Gen LX. Which are really good professional near-field speakers, active, which means that you don't need a separate amplifier to power them. And the rest is just indulgement, really. And as you go along, obviously you will invest on more gear, if you will. But to get started, you don't need to really spend loads of money, especially on plugins. Be careful with that. When it comes down to plugins, even if you rely heavily on sample libraries, okay, let's say that you do orchestral trailer music, cinematic music, and you rely heavily on plugins, you can still get started with the plugins that comes with your software. I mean, whatever samples and sounds come with Logic, they're really good to just get you started. And I believe it's the same with Ableton Live. I don't know about Cubase, but Cubase as well is a very powerful DAW. The same goes with EQs and compressors. You don't need to start spending money on that in the very beginning or in the early stages of making music for licensing. Yes, there is a lot of discussion out there that if you want to be sounding like a pro, you need to invest on expensive boutique, higher end libraries. But that's not an excuse to get you started. You don't need to start spending that kind of money if you're just getting started, And, it's just about working with what you already have, okay? So here in the studio, this is my new setup. I still need to put the foams or the actual absorbents on the wall. I have set up, this is a new setup here. Well, it's the same studio desk and everything, but it's a new home, it's a new environment. So kind of getting used to the acoustics as well. So I kind of know my gear already, but this is very essential. This is like my basics, But I could do music with just a laptop and my headphones. I don't really need the whole thing, but because this is my work area and I work from home, this is what I have built. Hey, send me your pictures as well. I've received a few pictures of different studios. I really appreciate that for those of you who have sent me these pictures. I want to collect different pictures from you so we can all see our different working environment. It's been 3 weeks exactly to the date that we moved into this house. And you know, we have our studio, our living room, everything is pretty set up as it is. And we're working with what we have. We don't have much space, but this is enough for me and my family to live and to go to the next level of our lives. My wife's desk, she's now working completely remotely from home. So she has her desk, her computer's down there. So her little desk, a little bit of a DIY stand here when it comes down to the printer with my rack things, and have a little space here so maybe I can play the guitar here. Very, you know, I can sit down and maybe chill out here, play the guitar. A little bit of a space here, and this is all temporarily because, like, as you know, we just moved to this place and we were looking to buy a house here, but we couldn't find anything. And thank God we didn't really embark in that journey, because with all of this is happening with the lockdown and the coronavirus, everything is stopped. So we managed to secure this house temporarily, meaning for the next few years to live here renting. But last minute, you know, we were so close to not make it, and here we are. And we're working with what we have, doing the best that we can with what we got. And we're so blessed. This is amazing, you know. Amazing setup for me. This is my dream come true, to have a studio like this in the middle of the living room, my little corner. Send me your pictures. I hope this video finds you well. I hope you're doing fantastic. And as always, rock and roll, and here's to your success.